There it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today and our show, Radical Connections TV. Irina
And Jesse
Nancy.
Kaufman.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we got an interesting topic today.
Yes, we
What was the
do.
title?
Can triggers be overcome by trust? And that's interesting because Jesse just posted earlier today about the trust can avoid triggers, right? So we probably want to say it's more of the triggers can be overcome by trust.
Yeah, because the statement in itself needs to be qualified and explained.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, there's absolutely grounds to say, no, I don't agree with that statement.
Right.
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
Depends.
And so, we had a lot of questions that actually came up because of that post, and they are so good. So we wanted to answer those questions and clarify some things, make it simpler. And again, we share something that is our knowledge, maybe, and some things that we learned, some things that we experienced. Maybe some of it is our opinion, right? So take it and take it to action maybe and see, right? Because
Test it out.
Test it out. There
Yeah,
you go.
absolutely.
That's good.
We got one question here. Once trust is broken on both sides, where you both
Mhm.
trigger each other, is there hope of ever regaining trust? Well, the easy answer is yes, of course. There's always hope.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're hopeless, or the situation is hopeless.
Yeah.
So, again,
How?
yeah, so we're going to tap into the law of sowing and reaping for this one.
Yeah.
So, to overcome bad seeds sown in the past, somebody has to break the cycle by sowing good seed.
Mhm.
And I remember how Carlos, our mentor, shared the story of how he entrusted a homeless man to take care of and watch over his property while they're gone on a trip, with no prior knowledge to the trustworthiness of the individual. But he told the man, you're welcome to any food you need in our fridge. You're welcome to eat, if you're hungry, and just take care of things, make sure things are, safe, everything looks good and okay.
Mhm.
And they went on their trip. And they came back, and this guy had done a superb job. And everything, there wasn't even any evidence of any food eaten from the fridge, even though he was allowed to. Everything was in order, just like it was, well taken care of. I don't know if they had animals or not, but everything was, still in good shape. And then this homeless man confessed to Carlos that normally he would have gotten all his friends around, and they would have ransacked a home like that with such free access,
Mhm.
and pillaged and robbed them into left field. But he didn't this time, and he even protected his destination from his friends so they couldn't track him and find out where he's going.
And I think even he was sleeping and he's sleeping back in the living
Yeah,
room, right?
yes.
Instead of using the bed and using all of that.
So, because Carlos trusted him and told him as much, I trust you,
Mm-hmm.
he rose up to the occasion and lived up to that trust
Yeah.
and didn't rob the house, the home, whereas normally he would.
Yeah.
So that broke that cycle of responding to mistrust. So if you don't trust somebody,
Mm-hmm.
you're sowing seeds of mistrust, you will reap mistrust.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody has to break the cycle. Now there's a staged way to do this. I'm not saying that you should put your family or your wife and children in harm's way. Not at all. But there are scenarios you can create that don't put your loved ones in harm's way, that will still start sowing seeds of trust in that person's life. Like, there are safe situations that can be created and designed to sow seeds of trust. And by the way, trust is given, it's not earned.
Yeah.
Consider yourself, when you yourself were untrustworthy, did you have to earn that trust? Or were you given that trust? You could
Yeah.
say it was earned. We might have to do a part 2 on this thing.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten to our notes. Which feels better, you earning trust or somebody saying, you know what, I trust you.
Mhm.
You want to do better, and I believe you. I trust you that you're not going to make the same mistake again.
Yeah.
I trust you again. The past is the past. I forgive you. Let's move on. Guess what? You're going to live up to that a lot more than you have to work your butt off to try to earn somebody's trust, which could take years, and they still might not trust you because at some point, even if you did earn it, they're still going to have to choose to give that trust.
Right.
What is the defining line of sufficient earning of the trust? There is none. At some point, you just have to make a decision. So
Yeah. So that's a good point that Jesse brought, is that trust is given, right? And be the first one to give it. How, if you both triggered and you don't know how to trust, you need to learn it. That's all. You need to be the better, the bigger person, maybe the first one to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop here and I need to, and go for a walk. Take each other out for a walk. Go drink water, go outside, breathe, you know. And one thing I wanted to mention, this is very important because we're talking about triggers, right? So trust, yes, but triggers, first of all, triggers are not given. Triggers are experienced, right? So no one, most of the time, and we mentioned that before in the other videos, most of the time people who are triggered, not because another person triggered them on purpose, but because they said something that brought them back to the bad memories, and you got triggered. You don't even know the memory, but that thing triggered you. So
maybe the person that triggered you doesn't even realize
right,
what they did wrong.
Most of the time, they don't even know that they triggered you. So, first of all, you need to realize this thing. To regain trust or to bring back, like one person was asking, if both people are triggered, how is there hope, right? Yes, there is, of course. So what do? Is that you need to realize that the person who triggering you didn't trigger you on purpose. They're not there to punish you. They're not there to poke you unless they know you and they are skillful at understanding how to trigger something in you to free you from the stuckness or whatever thing that you're struggling with and get you moving forward and out of it.
And stick with you through the process of overcoming.
Right. But that person needs to be skillful in that. So we do that. Our mentors do that. They taught us how to do it. So we can like push each other a little bit because we know and we trust each other to do that. It's done not out of sight, but because there is a purpose behind it, right? So for instance, Jesse is very good at asking me certain questions that I ask him to do, actually, to get me out of my stuck, state. And I get triggered sometimes, and I process that multiple times. So there's layers to that as well. Sometimes it just takes time to peel those layers to overcome that trigger. But just know that when you trust and you ask that person, hey, no matter what, I trust you. If you need to push me a little bit out of my comfort zone, then do it. For instance, with a workout, Jesse is keeping me accountable that I need to work out because I do my best with health in the food way, in supplements and other things. Health and wellness is one of our passions. And the fitness is not super passion for me because I've been avoiding a lot of it, right? Because I look great. I don't feel like I need to exercise, but I do. So he asks me questions and he's like, hey, how's your fitness routine going? I'm like, well, it's not going. So That's how, right? And I get triggered. But guess what? That gives me freedom to look at it and be like, oh man, okay. So I keep going in that cycle and I need to be out of it. So I need to take action. How am I going to take action? I need to look at certain things, talk to people who are in the industry, personal trainers, go to the gym, do certain things. If I can't do it by myself, I need someone to keep me accountable there too, right?
Yeah, I just was thinking about parents and your children. If you have children, or think back when you were a child, how your parents or you as a parent push your children to do something that they think they can't do, but they can. They just need to be pushed a little bit. And it might even cause them to burst into tears. I don't know.
Yeah.
Think about it. But then they all of a sudden they discover that, oh yes, they can actually do this. And they pushed through, they overcame, and they grew.
Yeah.
I'm talking about something done with love, honor, and respect.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about being mean or
Yeah.
abusive. No. But how many times have you had leaders or maybe employers, teachers, that whether they did it absolutely correctly or not, that's not the issue, where they just pushed you a little bit and it triggered you to where you felt overwhelmed, but then you ended up doing more than you thought you could,
Yeah.
and surprising yourself and growing thereby. That's where a good leader knows when to push you just a little bit to get you out of your comfort zone to go further than you thought you could. And we are going into overtime, but I had a couple more thoughts I wanted to share.
Okay.
And that is to embrace triggers as opportunity to go through the process of growth. It's not about avoiding triggers. If you're avoiding triggers, that's going to produce staying frozen in place in that area of your life. If you're not embracing your triggers and processing through them, overcoming them, and receiving healing from the agreement you made with a lie, with something that happened in your past, that area of your heart and soul will freeze in place and not grow.
Yeah.
So if you get triggered, see that as an opportunity to grow and embrace development and leveling up. It's not about avoiding or triggering people. And that's another thing, a true leader will, with love, honor, respect, also not be afraid to trigger somebody and then stick with them through the process of processing through this agreement and overcoming and leveling up and being encouraged that yes, you can. This is something you can do this. What we don't want to do is intentionally trigger somebody and then walk away and leave them bleeding, broken. And also, God forbid that you trigger somebody just to tease them, being mean and abusive and a bully. That's totally not. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a leader who pushes his willing followers because he knows that they can do this. They can level up here.
And also, like coaches and mentors do that, right? Because they want to bring you to that freedom.
Yeah. And last but not least, trust. If you have loved ones in your life, because I recognize there's people that may not be able to relate to this, but there is such a thing, is trust your loved ones with your triggers from your past.
Yeah.
If a loved one triggers you unknowingly, they didn't do it intentionally. That's where you trust them that with the truth that they love you and they want the best for you. They didn't intentionally trigger you, or maybe they did it unknowingly, and go through the process with them, talk it through, and be honest. So
it's a big topic.
It is. We could go on and on, but I think we need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So,
if you have questions, that would be actually a great time to put them in the comments. So we can go deeper into it in the next video and give you some more answers. And also know that we have tools how to work through triggers. It's not just you talking them out. There's a process.
Breaking the agreement with the lie.
Yeah. So we can share some things with you more if you reach out to us. We're not going to share everything because there's a lot to share, right? Reach out to us. We would love to help you in that journey. And please put your questions below, type them in, subscribe to our channel on YouTube because we put those videos every week at 1:00 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays. And also give your feedback if you have something there. Let us know. And we are going to be back with you next Wednesday. Yeah,
That's right.
closing statements.
Mhm. Agree with the truth and
Agree with the
embrace
truth.
your triggers as growth.
Yes. All right, guys. We love you. Be blessed, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Mwah.